So we are going to be applying our tips to our manicure hand. This is for your state board, okay? You have to have your one cuts, a brush, clear acrylic, liquid. I use an orange wood stick. I'll show you what that's for in a minute. A file and a buffer and assorted tips. So you're going to go through your assorted tips and you're going to find the tip that fits the finger properly. So we put them in upside down. We don't put them well first. And the reason we do that is because they slide all the way back under the finger where it needs to be. See how that slides in there just right? We used to hot glue them, but we don't do them anymore because they just pop off too bad. And that's why we recommend in your manicure bag that you take a little extra glue with you in case one pops off. You really need to glue it back on, okay? So usually whenever we fix your hands is in phase one, whenever we're doing the acrylic nails, and that's when we fix your hand for your manicure. So a lot of you guys, some missed it and some didn't. So I'm gonna turn it upside down. I'm gonna get my liquid. And you just need a little bit. You don't need a big ball because it's just gonna squish out. The sides are gonna squish out. So you dip all the way, wipe, grab a ball, and you're gonna place it in there. And if it's too much, or if it's, you know, don't be afraid to take it off, because if you get too much, you're gonna have a big mess. Okay. I'm gonna turn it upside down, and I'm gonna place it on the finger. And I'm just gonna push it in there and hold it for about 10 seconds. Always set something at your station where you can prop the finger up, because if you set it down, it's going to pop them nails off. It takes a little bit for them to dry, okay?
So instead of using glue, you use the...
Yes. It's not going to do any good to glue them on with glue. It's not going to stick. There's nothing
for state board in case of an emergency.
Yeah, you're just going to take it if a nail pops off. Okay? And that's what you're going to do to all 5 fingers. Once they're all good and dry and set in there like they're supposed to be set, then you're going to take your one cuts and cut them. You can turn that off.
I thought it was on.
Okay, so we're passing the hand around so everybody can see, and if you could get that for me. So now what we're going to do, since they've dried a little bit, we're going to take our one cuts. You're going to get your one cuts. Everybody got these in their kit, and you're going to put it on. That one's probably not dry. You're going to push it all the way to the skin on the mannequin right here. You're going to push it all the way down as far as it'll go, and you're going to cut. And that's what it's going to look like. You can even file that down a little bit further, because this is going to be the client's natural nail. That's what State Board wants to see, that the client's natural nail, and that's this, okay? We're going to do a really fine overlay over the top of it, and when they all 5 dry, then we're going to file and buff them just to make sure it's nice and smooth and it looks as close to a natural nail as we can get it to look. So I'm just going to apply it, and I start at the back by the cuticle, and I sure don't want to get any on the cuticle, because if you do, it'll show when you polish. Whenever you're doing your State Board manicure, if you get it on the edges, your polish will go right onto the edges also, and it looks tacky. All right, and that's what it looks like finished. Can you turn off the video? Okay, so I'm going to pass this around. Okay, I'm going to just continue to cut these tips, and I'm just going to put the one cuts right at the edge all the way back as far as you can go. And don't be afraid to file them if you need to file them. If they're crooked or whatever, it's okay. You're just going to take your file and you're just going to go straight across the edge. Some students like their nails rounded. If you want to round them. I think it's just easier if it's square. You don't have to worry about, it getting on the underneath side whenever you do your State Board polish, okay? And if you want to etch it a little bit, that's fine for the acrylic to stick, but as little as you're going to be working with it and as much acetone as you're going to be using to get the polish off, it might make them fall off anyway. So that's why I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time, but you do want to make sure they're nice and clean, and they will look on the edges to make sure there's no polish anywhere. And these are kind of hard to work with because they're rough, but you can't take the digit fingers with you. It says in your State Board paper, you cannot take the digit fingers. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
The ones that like bend.
The bendable digit fingers, you cannot take those. You have to take a mannequin hand like this. And there's another one that the nail tech has. It's a different kind of hand. and it goes on a stand, and I don't know that I'd recommend that one either, but so just stick with this one. I think it's the best one. So we're just going to continue to put an overlay over all the top of these, and we'll file them and buff them, and then I'll show you the finished product.